Hello friends, welcome to Political Science and International Relations. In this video, I am going to share with you the framework for answer writing for the PSIR option. Learning this framework and applying this in the examination will help you obtain a very good score in the UPSC mains examination. So ensure to learn this framework and apply this framework when you start answer writing practice for the option. Before explaining the framework, let me share some basic insights about answer writing for the PSIR option. If you are a student of PSIR, you would already be having some basic idea about answer writing. Many students have a confusion on how to write answers for GS and the option. Many tend to complicate. Many end up writing GS answers like PSIR answers, and many write PSIR answers like GS answers. If you take the optional PSIR, the optional is connected to GS subjects like polity and constitution, international relations, economy, as well as society and social issues. These are the important subjects, GS subjects related to PSIR: economy, polity, society, and international relations. Apart from this, topics such as internal security are also associated with the option. When you write answers for GS, the focus is mainly on the basic understanding of the concepts, the associated facts, using the knowledge for analysis, correlating current affairs developments with the core concepts. This is the requirement for GS optional. For example, if you are asked to analyze liberalization in GS paper 3 under economy subject, you are expected to keep these guidelines which I just mentioned. But when you are writing answers for a optional, the optional is more in-depth compared to GS. Compared to GS, the optional subjects including PSIR, especially social sciences subject like PSIR, they contain philosophies and ideologies. They contain many theories. You have to keep in mind the scholars and thinkers associated. So all these have to be brought within the answers. So optional is much in depth. The concept is deeper, analysis is deeper. It is related to theory, ideology, as well as thinkers. So this is the difference. You can bring in GS knowledge and use the same for PSIR, but the GS knowledge should be applied within the framework of PSIR only. For example, if you are asked to analyze participatory democracy and deliberative democracy, the knowledge obtained in GS can be incorporated in PSIR answer, but the knowledge itself should be embedded within the overall essence of PSIR. You have to bring in the philosophies like liberal democracy, social democracy, people's democracy. You have to bring indirect democracy, direct democracy, mention about scholars like J.J. Rousseau, Plato, and so on. Then you bring in the GS stuff. Ensure to bring in GS stuff in a selective manner. Do not stuff too many facts. This will lead to lower scores. Many students tend to bring in current affairs stuff. They will bring into PSIR answers. They will dump too much current affairs stuff. Once again, this will prove detrimental. Bring in facts from GS including current affairs, but only in a selective and limited manner based on need. Okay, so please follow these guidelines. The facts and current affairs stuff that you bring in should carry great relevance. Even if you give one example or one fact, it should be more relevant. Try to bring in contemporary examples and developments as much as possible. Okay friends, these are the basic guidelines. Never forget these guidelines. These make a great deal of difference in the scores for PSIR. Now, actual writing on paper, there are some guidelines. PSIR is a social science subject. It is a humanities subject. So here, the expression matters. The actual language doesn't matter. How you express, how you deliver, how you explain the concept, this matters. So this will increase the score. Choice of words is yours. You can unleash yourself. Okay, there is no fixed template. But content is important. Keep this in mind. Apart from this, ensure to bring in the important key terms, phrases, the important works of scholars, quotes as well as jargons. Okay. Feminist, for example, will tell that the personal is political. So the phrase personal is political is an important phrase which you have to write in the examination. Marxist will use the term class mobilization. Class mobilization. It's a important key term. It is also a phrase. Ancient Greek scholars, Plato, Aristotle, they spoke about eudaimonia, an important key term, which is nothing but the greatest happiness or the greatest good in society. Ensure to bring these terms in the answers. Don't write in a vague manner like GS subjects. When you write quotes, try to recollect and bring in the key terms as much as possible. Even if you cannot recollect the exact quote, it doesn't matter. Try to bring in the essence of the quote. It is enough. For example, Gandhiji spoke about Israel-Palestine issue way back. There is a famous quote which says that the Palestine belongs to the Arabs in the same sense that Israel belongs to the Jews, in the same sense that France belongs to the French. Now, even if you don't recollect each and every term, try to bring in the essence. Okay, you can just mention that Israel belongs to Jews in the same sense that Palestine belongs to the Arabs. Enough. Okay, friends, now coming to the knowledge framework for answer writing. This is the framework. Never forget the framework. There are 5 important aspects that you should keep in mind. First is philosophy and ideology. Second is the scholars associated. Philosophy and ideology, example Marxism, feminism, pluralism, fascism, Gandhism, they come under philosophies and ideologies. Philosophy is a general term, it includes ideology, school of thoughts, everything. Second is scholars associated, Plato, Aristotle, Marx, all these are scholars. The third is the key concepts in the subject. Key concepts includes concepts like rights, justice, etc. In paper 2, the important key concepts are balance of power, realism, idealism, cooperation, and so on. Fourth is correlation within the syllabus. This is very important. Correlation within the syllabus or correlation between the topics. This requires analytical thinking. For example, concepts such as liberalism, Marxism, feminism, theories of state in paper 1 are related to topics in paper 2. State in comparative perspective in paper 2 and comparative politics. These are related to topics in paper 1. So correlation is very important. Ensure to correlate. Correlate between topics, correlate between subtopics, correlate between paper 1 and paper 2, correlate between different scholars. For example, Gandhi and Marx can be correlated. Both were radical humanists. There is difference between the ideology of Gandhi and Karl Marx, but humanism brings Gandhi and Marx together. This is called correlation. Gandhi and Marx held similar views as far as the state is concerned, Both wanted abolition of the state, correlation. Both wanted abolition of private property. So you can find a Marx in the Indian context in Gandhi. You can find a Gandhi in the Western context in Karl Marx, even though their ideologies are not exactly the same. This is the correlation. Last aspect is connecting facts, developments, and current affairs. So the last stuff is correlating with the dynamic part. Let me give an example. Paper 2. United Nations comes under topic, static part. You have to correlate with the recent developments and current affairs. India is trying to become a permanent member of United Nations Security Council in the future. Now, certain other events may be associated. India is supported by 4 out of the P5 states except China. Right? So bring in the current affairs, facts and developments. The grouping G4, which has the membership of Japan, India, Brazil and Germany, they are fighting for obtaining permanent membership at UNSC. Another group called Coffee Club, its other name is Uniting for Consensus. Coffee Club group opposes G4. Coffee Club groups wants large scale changes at UNSC instead of just allowing few powers to enter the permanent membership. So correlate. Paper 1. Once again you should go for correlation. Under theories of state, there is a theory called neoliberal theory of state. You can associate with current affairs. In many of the European states today, you see neoliberalism. Neoliberalism comes under the new right. New right goes for conservatism in society. It goes for liberalism in economy as well as politics. It asks for a minimal state. At the same time, it is okay with some amount of conservatism, state guiding the society. So you can associate. You can give in some examples of parties. Today the party Conservative Party rules UK. Conservative Party itself can be classified under new right. The Conservative Party in UK is opposed to migration. So this is how you correlate. Okay friends, this is the framework that you have to apply for answer writing. Along with the framework, don't forget the jargons. Don't forget the key terms and the phrases. So these carry weightage. So ensure to bring in jargons, key terms and the phrases. Okay, so this is how you have to write answers for the PSIR option. Okay. Now I will discuss a previous year question using this framework so that you get an overall idea. Please read the question given at the top of the board. Success of contemporary democracies lies in state limiting its own power. Comment 20 marks. 2023 question. Paper 1 comes under the theory part of PSIR. Now read the question again. Understand the question. Success of contemporary democracies lies in state limiting its own power. Now apply the framework. The question is related to democracy. It is related to state. It is also related to contemporary democracies. So what is connected to the ideology and philosophy? Can you tell me? When it comes to philosophy and ideology, the concepts are liberalism, liberal state, democracy. Under democracy, you have to compare substantive and procedural, so these are the important concepts under the ideology and philosophy. Liberalism, democracy. You need to compare this with ideologies dating back to the ancient Greek period. The associated philosophies are ideal state, philosopher king, next is the scholars associated. Now think about the scholars who have spoken about the concept of state, who have spoken about democracy. Who are the scholars? In the ancient period, people like Socrates, Plato and Aristotle spoke about the state. Aristotle and Plato were two important scholars who held views regarding democracy. According to Plato and Aristotle, democracy is not the desirable form of government. They wanted monarchy. Monarchy is the best form according to both Plato and Aristotle. According to Plato, monarchy is the best government, ideal government. Aristotle was ready to accept other forms of government even though he also wanted monarchy. Other scholars. Coming to modern period, the important scholars associated are Hobbes, Rousseau. Most important scholar is John Locke. John Locke is the father of liberalism. They are directly or indirectly related to democracy as well as the concept of state. Earlier scholars, they upheld the divine theory of state as well as the organic theory of state, but later scholars who are influenced by enlightenment and before that, they were giving importance to the man. The ancient Greek philosophy was giving importance to state. The modern philosophy was giving importance to man. Okay, you have to bring in the key terms and phrases accordingly. Okay, state is prior to man. This is the organic theory. Man is prior to the state. This is the liberal theory. Next, key concepts and key themes. What are the key concepts? The concepts associated with democracy and state are minimal state. You have to hit all these areas: liberty, rights, social contract, positive liberty, negative liberty, welfare state is also another concept. These are the important concepts related. I am highlighting the important ones. This is 3. Fourth is correlation between the topics. How will you correlate the concept state, democracy? Look into different parts of the syllabus where you find a connection. Participatory democracy, deliberative democracy, indirect democracy, direct democracy, rights, liberty, justice. All these are related to each other. In the question, the concept power is also given. So you have to associate all these. How to associate? Power and democracy. You have to associate. You have to hit concepts such as elite, now correlate further. How liberty and equality are complementary principles, how liberty and equality are contradictory principles. You have to correlate. Bring in the scholars associated once again. Socialists like R.H. Tawney will support equality along with liberty. Conservatives will not support equality. According to conservatives, liberty and equality are contradictory principles. According to J.J. Rousseau, the state itself is the result of the will of the people. He called this as general will. You have to associate with J.J. Rousseau. Anna Arendt spoke against concentration of power. Hit Anna Arendt in the syllabus. According to Anna Arendt, power is the collectivization of the will of the people. Whenever you see power, you see people coming together. If people don't come together, you won't see power, you will see the concept of violence, according to Anna Arendt. Violence lies in the hands of the state, power lies in the hands of the people. Anna Arendt, J.J. Rousseau, and Amartya Sen in the Indian context, they want the people's will to be reflected in the state. Then hit further, go for further correlation. The concept of minimal state. It says that state is a necessary evil. State is required, but it is a necessary evil. Mention the views of John Locke. Mention the views of the American founding fathers, Madison and Jefferson. According to John Locke, the state should be minimal. The duty of state is to protect the life, liberty, and the private property of the individual. Who says? John Locke, liberalism. According to American founding fathers, they give importance to life, liberty, and the pursuit of the happiness. So keep in mind, try to hit the jargons, key terms, and the phrases. Life, liberty, and property. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are all jargons, key terms, and phrases. Minimal state, welfare state. State is a necessary evil. Ensure to bring everything. So correlation is very important. The last is facts, developments, and current affairs. How to correlate with the developments and current affairs. Don't stuff too much from current affairs. Bring in current affairs developments as well as some facts in a limited but highly relevant manner. The question is about the success of contemporary democracies. State limiting its own power. So the question itself tells that when the state limits its power, the democracy will be successful. Today we see a situation in many democracies where the state tries to assert itself. The state tries to act in an interventionist manner. We can give many examples. We can give examples in the Western context as well as Indian context. Some countries try to restrict abortion rights in the West. An example of state trying to intervene. State doesn't limit its power. In the Indian context, you can give examples like Data Protection Act, DNA Bill, and so on. Here, the state is seen to be interventionist. You can also give examples in the past. After 1989, the countries under Eastern Bloc, they experienced revolution. The people demanded democracy. This period was called the fall of communism. The revolutions later continued. They were called the color revolutions. You can give some other examples. In case of states that are not democracies, for example, Iran, the state is trying to increase the intervention. For example, recently women protested in Iran. They wanted rights when it comes to dressing. They did not like the dress code being imposed on them. So this is how you bring in current affairs in a relevant manner. At the end, give your conclusion. Conclusion should not be a repetition of a concept or a point already written. It should be a inference. When you write conclusion, you should keep universal values in mind. The universal values are equality, justice, rights, liberty, humanism. You are a student of political science. You are expected to study objectively, but you are also expected to go by the universal values. The state could be anything, the philosophy could be anything, but as much as possible, you should go for a substantive study of political science. Right? So keep the universal values, and you can also give the way forward. You can give solutions. You need not write like an expert. Use the knowledge obtained in political science. Give some practical solutions. For example, state should limit its power. In turn, civil society should play a proactive role. Civil society playing proactive role is nothing but positive liberty. People participate in the government. You can give this as a solution. You can also give solutions. For example, technology based solutions like e-governance, e-democracy, you can give in the conclusion, and ultimately comment that the contemporary democracies can be made more substantive by allowing for more participation of the citizens, and highlight points such as civil society, technology, e-governance, e-democracy. These will lead to satisfaction of the aspirations of the citizens. It will also contribute to better political stability in the society. End answer. I hope this session has been helpful to you. Thank you.